All right, we are standing by, of course, for Devendra Fadnavis to take oath as Maharashtra's Chief Minister. At the moment, of course, we're going to cut live to pictures that we are getting from Azad Maidan, where this oath-taking ceremony is currently taking place. There you have it. The Chief Minister designate of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, walking to the stage, will be starting his oath-taking ceremony shortly, flanked, of course, by Ajit Pawar, who is expected to take oath as his Deputy Chief Minister. And in a bit, we should also be seeing the other big dignitaries who are attending this. Joining me on the broadcast is Tejas Mehta. He's a political commentator. Hi, Tejas. Thanks for joining us once again. Tejas, we are, of course, seeing Devendra Fadnavis flanked by the two men who will serve as his deputies. We've been talking about the road ahead for Devendra Fadnavis. What is your sense of what we are likely to see in the next few months?
First of all, thank you so much for having me here. This is a big, big day for the BJP and the NDA. I think Maharashtra was central to, especially post the 2014 Lok Sabha elections. BJP needed a big boost, and that has really come from first from Haryana, the surprise win there, and now from Maharashtra, the thumping victory that they have got. There are several aspects to talk about, but first and foremost, to talk about what you asked, what does it mean for Devendra Fadnavis? Devendra Fadnavis undoubtedly is today the one of the BJP's tallest leaders, and I'm saying it with a lot of responsibility, given the fact that he has been able to bring the BJP to power not once, not twice, but three times. He, along with the alliance partners, he has led the way, and he has been able to bring victory to the NDA three consecutively. This is Maharashtra, one of India's most industrialized states. This is where the financial capital is. This is where a lot of the assembly seats and therefore the impact on the Rajya Sabha seats also come from here. So he has done a phenomenal job as far as that is concerned. Of course, he's being sworn in for the third time, but the second time was just for a few days. So I won't even really count that. But yes, he's been able to bring the BJP and the NDA to victory on three different occasions. That is by no means a very small feat. It's a huge feat. I mean, it's like, once again, Yogi Adityanath going ahead and being able to win Uttar Pradesh for the BJP for the third time. That would again, bring both these the gen next of the BJP right up there. So I think this is a huge day for him personally. It also means a lot for Maharashtra, given the fact that we have seen a lot of instability
Absolutely,
in
as
the
you.
last. Yeah, we have seen a lot of instability in the last 5 years. So this is great news. I mean, whichever party had won, we would have wanted, clear majority, no longer pulling down chairs, pulling down parties, poaching MLAs. I think we are all tired of it, especially the people of Maharashtra. So this is great news for the BJP, for Fadnavis, and for the people of Maharashtra.
And Tejas, of course, this is also a great opportunity for them to deliver. I'm going to also bring in Mr. Uday Nirgurkar. He's a political analyst joining us right now. Mr. Nirgurkar, thank you very much for joining us on NDTV Profit. Mr. Nirgurkar, as Tejas was pointing out, this is a fantastic opportunity for the BJP to deliver. It has come back to power despite its poor showing in the Lok Sabha elections. Nobody expected them to come back with these numbers and also be able to cobble together this majority. And not just that, they've got allies who've now been forced to back them. What's your sense of the road ahead?
The road ahead is not going to be as rosy as one can imagine, because there are about 235 seats this trio has won, and 30 of them have got elected consecutive fourth time. Some of them have fifth time, sixth time. So the aspirants to get the ministerial berth is never say die attitude kind of people will put enormous pressure to get plum portfolios. And we have seen the delay in formation of the government was a result of that. So ministry allocation is going to be a major issue. Second issue which will come is the rising expectations of the people with such a huge mandate. People expectations on various fronts is going to be at the sky level. So matching that is going to be another issue. The farmers, the small traders, the women, everyone would be expecting something or the other. And today, the infrastructure development requirement for the project, that money is also very high. So as a result, there is going to be a tremendous burden and exercise to make the budget, because it's already 8 lakh crore plus. That's the kind of burden we are carrying in Maharashtra. So anything more than that is going to put the last straw in the, as they call it as. So that's going to be another concern in my opinion. Fourth is the religious sentiments which are there, especially ek hai to safe hai, and the actions they would need, be it the loudspeakers on the mosque. People would expect that as per the Supreme Court decision, they need to be taken out. And will this government be able to do it? There has been a demand to take the Bangladeshis invaders to be spotted them and take them out. That's also going to be a major issue, especially in Mumbai, Nagpur, be it Thane, Pune, or Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. So that's another issue which is there. So it's going to be a very exciting and troubled time, as the Chinese proverbs say, that may you be born in a troubled time. So welcome to Mr. Fadnavis 3.0. You are into a troubled water and the most exciting time of your life.
All right.
This is where you need to prove your mettle.
So you're saying he'll have to really go out and prove the numbers that he has got. Let me also bring in Vinaya Deshpande, Chief of Bureau Maharashtra for the Hindu. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us and taking out the time to be with us, Ms. Deshpande. What's your thought as you see this trio up on the stage once again? This time, a different picture from what we saw last time. Eknath Shinde is no longer the Chief Minister. He's Devendra Fadnavis's deputy. And there is, of course, Ajit Pawar, who is also not a very, very easy man to work with. So give us a sense of what you're expecting over the next few days. Do you see this as a challenge for Devendra Fadnavis, or do you think he is a mature and able politician, as he's proved himself in the past, to be able to deal with this?
Well, thank you for having me around today. And yes, it's the same combination that we had seen for the last 2.5 years, really. The role has changed, and the fact that all the three parties have made sure to choose these three leaders at the helm of it says a lot about the kind of combination and understanding they have amongst each other, and the way the parties feel that these are the leaders who will be able to navigate the party's interest in this kind of an alliance. Clearly, as Uday Nirgodkarji said, that this is a troubled time for the alliance. The fact that after 12 days of the results, it's only the three of them taking oath today in such a huge glitzy ceremony at a time when the numbers have been massive, the kind of landslide victory that the Mahayuti has received in Maharashtra. Maharashtra has hardly seen those numbers in decades at end, and yet all those who have performed and who wanted to be on the stage today in that swearing-in ceremony are not there is testimony of the fact that there is trouble in paradise, that the allocation of portfolios and the cabinet seat sharing will also have to see a lot of understanding, because remember, as challenges were also put out, we are still headed for the local self-government elections. The fact that several corporations are yet to go to the polls, including the Mumbai Corporation, which is one of the biggest municipal corporations in the country, there will have to be several considerations which will have to be put forth in order to make sure that the leaders who will be able to get them victory in the local self-government elections will have to be appeased. Now, while one thought is that the new cabinet should have new faces and those who are veterans should be given a break, the fact that several of these veterans have proved their mettle in order to be a part of this government will make it difficult for all the three parties to keep them out of power. So, may it be the BJP, which will have to do a lot of tightrope work in Marathwada in order to nurture it to gain electoral ground there, because that has not been the traditional stronghold, and yet Marathwada has voted strongly this time on in order to showcase that Marathwada will get enough representation. They will have to appease leaders from there. They will also have to get in leaders where there are local self-governments which are going to take place. Looking at the caste combinations on the background of the massive Maratha agitation that took place in Maharashtra just some time ago, all these things will have to be a part of the consideration for the cabinet to be sworn in. We are being told that the cabinet will be sworn in before the winter session of the Maharashtra Assembly, which was going to be held in Nagpur from the 16th of December, which means over the coming few days, a lot of discussions, deliberations, heartbreaks will have to happen in Maharashtra. So today is just the beginning of a lot of interesting stories that Maharashtra will keep churning for the national viewers as well over the coming few weeks or probably months as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Tejas, coming back to you, we are, of course, seeing that the Prime Minister has now arrived, and we should be beginning the oath-taking ceremony very soon. But Tejas, we have been talking about the distribution of ministries to these three alliance partners. Now, there have been various formulas that have been worked out, but we don't still have clarity yet. What's your sense on what is it that the BJP would like to keep for itself? You know, there are important ministries, as like home, finance, and for Maharashtra, finance becomes extremely important because it's one of the richest states in the country. So in that sense, how do you see that progressing now?
Well, from whatever my understanding has been, I think Devendra Fadnavis has, understood that when you are leading the government, you do need the home ministry with you. Traditionally in Maharashtra, the chief minister's post used to go to the to one party, and the smaller ally would have the home minister's, home ministry with them. But ever since the BJP has been winning the elections, we have seen that it has kept a home ministry with themselves. So we have heard through our sources and through all the reports coming out that one of the key demands by Eknath Shinde has been that he wants, the home ministry's portfolio. But it's quite unlikely that that they will be given that because the BJP is quite adamant at this point of time. I think the other one which they also would want is revenue. That is something again which Devendra Fadnavis has generally kept it with the BJP. It has not really gone to the allies. So I think these two are the key ministries. Finance, Ajit Pawar has actually been handling finance even when the Mahayuti was there in its first avatar. So I think they could continue with that. But of course, I'm not too sure if all of that is clear. As Vinay also was pointing out, it is such a grand ceremony. This could have actually gone on for at least half an hour, 45 minutes, but it won't take that long, probably, given the fact that the swearing in is very short. There are only three MLAs being sworn in today, three ministers. So they could have actually gotten at least another 10-15 faces in. It would have been a show. I mean, this is the time to actually show your strength. And
all right,
I think political.
Tejas, I'm going to have to interrupt you there. We're going to just cut live across to the oath taking.
मी देवेंद्र सरिता गंगाधरराव फडणवीस ईश्वर साक्ष शपथ घेतो की कायद्याद्वारे स्थापित झाले आहे अशा भारताच्या संविधानाबद्दल मी खरी श्रद्धा व निष्ठा बाळगेन. मी भारताची सार्वभौमता व एकात्मता उन्नत राखीन. मी महाराष्ट्र राज्याचा मुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझी कामे निष्ठापूर्वक व सत्सद विवेक बुद्धीने पार पाडेन आणि संविधान व कायदा यानुसार सर्व तऱ्हेच्या लोकांना मी निर्भयपणे व निपक्षपातीपणे तसेच कोणाच्याही विषयी ममत्व भाव किंवा आकस न बाळगता न्याय वागणूक देईल. मी देवेंद्र सरिता गंगाधरराव फडणवीस ईश्वर साक्ष शपथ घेतो की महाराष्ट्र राज्याचा मुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझ्या विचारार्थ आणली जाईल किंवा मला ज्ञात होईल अशी कोणतीही बाब असा मुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझी कामे यथायोग्य पार पाडण्यासाठी आवश्यक असेल ते खेरीज करून एरवी मी कोणत्याही व्यक्तीला किंवा व्यक्तींना प्रत्यक्षपणे वा अप्रत्यक्षपणे कळवणार नाही किंवा त्यांच्याकडे उघड करणार नाही.
माननीय राज्यपाल महोदय, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री यांना पुष्पगुच्छ देतील. यानंतर राज्याचे उपमुख्यमंत्री म्हणून शपथ घेतील श्री एकनाथ गंगूबाई संभाजी शिंदे.
हिंदू हृदय सम्राट बाळासाहेब ठाकरे यांना वंदन. गुरुवर्य धर्मवीर आनंद दिघे साहेबांचं स्मरण आणि देशाचे कर्तबगार आणि लोकप्रिय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदीजी व देशाचे कणखर गृहमंत्री अमितभाई शाह यांच्या भक्कम पाठिंब्याने आशीर्वादाने तसेच राज्यातील 13 कोटी जनतेच्या आशीर्वादाने मी एकनाथ गंगूबाई संभाजी शिंदे ईश्वर साक्ष शपथ घेतो की कायद्याद्वारे स्थापित झाले आहे अशा भारताच्या संविधानाबद्दल मी खरी श्रद्धा व निष्ठा बाळगीन. मी भारताची सार्वभौमता व एकात्मता उन्नत राखीन. मी महाराष्ट्र राज्याचा उपमुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझी कामे निष्ठापूर्वक व सत्सद विवेक बुद्धीने पार पाडीन आणि संविधान व कायदा यानुसार सर्व तऱ्हेच्या लोकांना मी निर्भयपणे व निष्पक्षपातीपणे तसेच कोणाच्याही विषयी ममत्वभाव किंवा आकस न बाळगता न्याय्य वागणूक देईन. मी एकनाथ गंगूबाई संभाजी शिंदे ईश्वर साक्ष शपथ घेतो की महाराष्ट्र राज्याचा उपमुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझ्या विचारार्थ आणली जाईल किंवा मला ज्ञात होईल अशी कोणतीही बाब असा उपमुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझी कामे यथायोग्य पार पाडण्यासाठी आवश्यक असेल ते खेरीज करून एरवी मी कोणत्याही व्यक्तीला किंवा व्यक्तींना प्रत्यक्षपणे व अप्रत्यक्षपणे कळवणार नाही किंवा त्यांच्याकडे उघड करणार नाही. धन्यवाद.
माननीय राज्यपाल महोदय, माननीय उपमुख्यमंत्री महोदय यांना पुष्पगुच्छ देतील. यानंतर राज्याचे उपमुख्यमंत्री म्हणून शपथ घेतील श्री अजित आशाताई अनंतराव पवार.
मी अजित आशाताई अनंतराव पवार गांभीर्यपूर्वक प्रतिज्ञा करतो की कायद्याद्वारे स्थापित झाले आहे अशा भारताच्या संविधानाबद्दल मी खरी श्रद्धा व निष्ठा बाळगीन. मी भारताची सार्वभौमता व एकात्मता उन्नत राखीन. मी महाराष्ट्र राज्याचा उपमुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझी कामे निष्ठापूर्वक व विवेक बुद्धीने पार पाडीन आणि संविधान व कायदा यानुसार सर्व तऱ्हेच्या लोकांना मी निर्भयपणे व निपक्षपातीपणे तसेच कोणाच्याही विषयी महत्वभाव किंवा आकस न बाळगता न्याय वागणूक देईल. मी अजित आशाताई अनंतराव पवार गांभीर्यपूर्वक प्रतिज्ञा करतो की महाराष्ट्र राज्याचा उपमुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझ्या विचारार्थ आणली जाईल किंवा मला ज्ञात होईल अशी कोणती बाब असा उपमुख्यमंत्री म्हणून माझी कामे यथायोग्य पार पाडण्यासाठी आवश्यक असेल ते खेरीज करून एरवी मी कोणत्याही व्यक्तीला किंवा व्यक्तींना प्रत्यक्षपणे वा अप्रत्यक्षपणे कळवणार नाही किंवा त्यांच्याकडे उघड करणार नाही.
माननीय राज्यपाल महोदय, माननीय उपमुख्यमंत्री महोदय यांना पुष्पगुच्छ देतील. माननीय राज्यपाल महोदय, आता हा शपथविधी कार्यक्रम पूर्ण झाला आहे.
All right, so that's the oath-taking ceremony that is over. Currently, the Chief Minister, Devendra Fadnavis, flanked by his deputies, taking oath there. Mr. Nirgurkar, coming back to you on what we were earlier speaking of in terms of the task ahead for Devendra Fadnavis. There has been a feeling in the past, 3 or 4 years that not a lot of work has happened in Maharashtra. So there are a lot of infrastructure projects which are still lying incomplete. Look at Mumbai, for instance. The entire city is dug up, literally. There are several issues where the previous government was found to not be acting as aggressively as they should have. So do you think that we will see a lot of, fast tracking in terms of those projects?
Yes, be it Mumbai Metro, be it the Coastal Road, be it the extension of Mumbai-Pune Expressway, be it connecting Konkan with Vidarbha, be it river linkages. There are so many projects which I can count on my fingers, which will have to be fast-tracked. But the real issue, how do we fast-track? When about 60,000 crore are going to go for Ladli Behna, and contractors are to be paid. The refinancing companies are already raising their alarm and are in two minds about financing of the project because the debt burden on the state is mounting very high. So keeping pace of that infrastructure demand, which is already way behind the time, is going to be a major issue. Another challenge which we forgot to mention in paucity of time because the swearing in ceremony was about to begin, and that is the local self-government elections. These elections are round the corner and they will be hosted, in my opinion, somewhere in the month of January end or February. And that's going to be the acid test for the trio in two terms: confirming the mandate, and it was not a flash in the pan, it was not a stroke of luck, but it was a real vote for this trio. That's the first thing. Second, how do you distribute the tickets? Because now the expectations of each and every political worker to get the seat is going to be very high. So in each and every ward, I'm sure there would be dozens of people who would be interested in getting the local ticket. So that's going to be another challenge for the three parties, that how do they handle this issue. So infrastructure on one side and repeating what they have done in this election in local self-government is going to be a major acid test.
Right, Tejas, of course, continues to be with us. Tejas, there's been a lot of talk about Maharashtra's fiscal health. Now, in the past, we've seen the CNAG, in fact, in a report, I think in July this year, they spoke about the fact that they face a severe strain and there is mounting debt. Now, that obviously is going to be one of the key challenges that this government faces. Also, because it is where industry is based, just look at the kind of faces you saw in the audience today. That, you know, the biggest industrialists of the country were attending that oath-taking ceremony. But here is a state that faces mounting debt, that faces a lot of infrastructure projects that have still not been complete. So in that sense, there is a lot that Devendra Fadnavis will have to deliver, and deliver in a very fiscally prudent manner.
You know, if you look at the development which has taken place in Maharashtra over the last many decades, not just, governments, it has largely been the Mumbai-Pune belt. After that, slowly we saw the development of the Mumbai-Nashik belt. And we saw south of Maharashtra, which is on largely, little Solapur, Kolhapur, that belt. But beyond that, you should go to Marathwada, Vidarbh. I mean, there is hardly any industry. There is, of course, the agrarian crisis, which is a roaring problem there. Acute, rural distress. So those are I think, the real challenges, because it is our rural economy which has been, lagging in Maharashtra. As far as the urbanization is concerned, Maharashtra is almost 40 to 45%, I think, urbanized. So the rural sector has really not been taken into account because of many reasons, which we cannot, I won't get into now. But water being, of course, one key issue there, which has not let development really take place. But it's decades, so there is no excuse for any government now, especially for somebody like Devendra Fadnavis, who comes from Vidarbh. And of course, Nagpur has, really grown in the last 2 decades, one would say. But it's many other centers in Maharashtra which have to become, really economic hubs. And that has really not taken place. So not just finish projects which were there, which are pending, but also bring in new capital to various parts of Maharashtra. I think that is going to be the key challenge for him. I seriously hope it's not going to be the challenges within the alliance, because if you're going to be bogged down by that, then you're not going to be able to really perform and deliver for Maharashtra. But I know when we are talking about development, we also cannot not talk about welfare. and that is the welfare Revdi, whatever you want to call it. Now it is going to be the new norm. We have seen it in in Karnataka where the Congress did it. We have seen in Madhya Pradesh where the BJP has done it, and now in a very organized manner, the BJP and their allies have done it once again in Maharashtra. In fact, one clue which I think I felt I got, maybe there could be another reason as to where these people, where the focus is going to be in the next for this government, was in the swearing in ceremony. Now, Devendra Fadnavis, then Eknath Shinde, and then finally we saw Ajit Pawar being sworn in. All of them, each one of them have added their mother's name in before their father's name. So now all of them are saying not only their father's name, but also for the first time I'm hearing they've added their mother's name. Now that is a key indication, to me at least it seems so, that they want to send the message that we are with the women of Maharashtra. It
Absolutely.
Ladki Behan was not just some show we had done for the election. We are going to continue what we have done. So that's a big indicator as to where the government seems to be wanting to focus at least.
Right. Tejas, as you're pointing out, of course, women voters did also vote in very large numbers to bring in this new government. They have been loyal supporters. Joining me on the broadcast right now is also Kiran Tare, a political analyst. Thank you very much for speaking to us today on NDTV Profit. You just saw Devendra Fadnavis take oath a short while ago, flanked by his two deputies. Of course, there's been a bit of a role reversal as far as him and Eknath Shinde are concerned. But one would have expected to see other people also take oath today, despite the fact that it has been about 11 days. It was just these three men who took oath. So how do you sense this going forward? It's a new government. They've got a lot of work ahead of them. They have, in a sense, worked a miracle after what we saw in the Lok Sabha elections with this alliance not doing too well. So what is your sense on how this is going to go forward?
I think the major factor in this government will be Eknath Shinde's performance. The way Eknath Shinde was stick to his point that he is not going to take oath as the deputy chief minister, and all the efforts were made to convince him to come on the stage and take the oath, that tells the story. I think this government's performance will be depending upon how Eknath Shinde cooperates with Devendra Fadnavis and Ajit Pawar. Because Eknath Shinde is not happy. He certainly wanted the CM's post. Still, he is hopeful that he will get the home portfolio or the urban development portfolio. If the BJP doesn't give him that, then there will be a crisis in this government, because Eknath Shinde is a power in certain pockets of the state which the BJP cannot afford to ignore. On the other hand, Ajit Pawar, another very ambitious politician, he has created a sort of record by taking oath as a deputy chief minister for the sixth time. It never happened in Maharashtra before. So Ajit Pawar has created a record. Ajit Pawar wants to grow his party. He wants to challenge his uncle Sharad Pawar. On the other hand, Sharad Pawar wants to cut in Devendra Fadnavis's brings. Ajit Pawar and Eknath Shinde, they don't see eye to eye. This is a very complex government. Devendra Fadnavis will have to face a bigger test in keeping his allies together. The only fortunate thing for him that he has a clear majority, which gives him an assurity that the government will be stable. But every time I can see that there will be clashes between the ministers of NCP and Shiv Sena in the cabinet meetings and outside as well. Earlier in the earlier government, the Shiv Sena ministers, of course, they had openly stated that they did not like to sit with the NCP minister in the cabinet meetings, and they felt vomiting while sitting closer to the NCP minister. So this kind of relationship is there. Devendra Fadnavis's role here becomes very bigger, to keep them together, to convince Shinde to work for the government. And of course, if we look at the oath-taking ceremony again very closely, Eknath Shinde did a very unusual thing. He took the names of Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, and Union Home Minister, Amit Shah as well, before actually taking the oath. So he wanted to send a clear message that he wants to go closer to these two powerful people of the BJP, and he is still hopeful of getting something important, which we can call as a bigger plump portfolio in this government. If he gets it, then it's fine. But if it doesn't get it, then certainly there will be a crisis from the next week at sea.
And Mr. Tariq, quick word on the opposition now. What we are seeing is fragments of, of course, Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena, there is the Congress, and there is, of course, Sharad Pawar, who is someone who is a wily politician. He's known for his dexterity. So in that sense, how much of a challenge do you think that the opposition is going to be now?
As far as numbers are concerned, the opposition is the weakest in this assembly. So the opposition won't have any stronger voice inside the assembly. But of course, as you rightly mentioned, that Sharad Pawar is a person who can't be ignored at any level. Even though he has only 10 MLAs on his side, his stature or his attraction or his influence over the masses is much more bigger than the numbers he's carrying. So Pawar's moves are definitely going to create a new steer in this state, whether it could be a Maratha reservation, whether it could be an OBC reservation. There are lots of social issues. And this time, again, a very complex situation. In a Maratha-dominated state, in an OBC-dominated state like Maharashtra, a Brahmin has become a chief minister once again. That has already given enough fodder to the opposition parties, and I won't be surprised if Devendra Fadnavis faces another scare regarding the reservation issues in coming days.
So both you and Tejas seem to think that this is not going to be an easy road for Devendra Fadnavis, but he's a man who is in the past proven all his detractors wrong. So it's going to be interesting watching how this government works. Tejas Maheta as well as Kiran Tari, both of you, thank you very much for joining us on this special broadcast on the Chief Minister of Maharashtra and his two deputies taking oath. Well, that's a wrap on this special broadcast. Thank you very much for joining us.